What's up, YouTube? I'm gonna try this again. I was making a video earlier and I started talking about some things. I don't know. I'm on a VPN, so maybe my camera quit working and my computer kind of glitched on me. So anyway, my name is Michael and I got this channel trying to help people escape the United States, and I do mean escape, because they are just there robbing you guys blind, man. You guys are just getting robbed blind. I told my wife, I said, man, I thought they did away with slavery a couple hundred years ago in the USA, man. Maybe 150, I don't know when it was. But it was a slavery against a certain kind of people. But now in the USA, they got slavery against almost everyone. Okay? And you say, I'm not a slave. Yes, you are. I'm going to tell you why. You're a slave to the banks. You're a slave to the credit card companies. And you're a slave probably to the company you work for. Okay? And you say, I'm not a slave? There you are. You're working for next to nothing. You might get laid off tomorrow. People say, I got a nice house. No, you don't. The bank has a nice house. I got nice cars. No, you don't. The bank has nice cars. I got a nice Harley Davidson, brand new, all the bells and whistles. No, you don't. The bank does. Okay? You guys are paying interest. It is absolutely insane. Okay? You get a 30-year mortgage on a house after about 10 years, 8 years. Look and see how much of that money is went to interest and how much went to principal. Okay? It's almost all went to interest. Same thing with a car, man. You buy a car, buy a new car. I hear on Dave Ramsey all the time, people calling up. They bought a new car, man. They deserved it. And now something happened to their job or something, you know, they got a divorce or whatever. Now they've had that car a couple years, man, and they are so upside down in that car because they've been paying almost all interest and the values went down. Okay? These credit card companies charging like 20% interest on credit cards. I mean, the mafia, I don't even think the mafia charged that much, but I don't know. That's quite a bit. But even after, okay, you got your house, you said, no, my house is paid for. I don't know nothing on it. Well, you kind of like renting it because you got to pay property tax on that house. That's never, and if you don't pay the property tax, they're gonna evict you. If you live in an HOA, you don't pay that HOA fee, or you don't pay that assessment fee because somebody wants to put in a new road, or pool needs repair, or the elevator needs repair if it's in a condo, and they're just gonna pay this amount, man, $9,000, $10,000, $12,000, whatever the amount is. You got to pay it. If not, they're just gonna put a lien on your property. You guys are slaves to all those people, man. Slaves, absolute slaves. And that's sad, you know. Especially these young people, they go to school, get a degree now they can't even get a job. And somebody, I don't know who it is, whether or not it's a school counselor or their family or their friends or these influencers on YouTube or on whatever, telling them, yeah, go get a degree in gender studies or pre-Columbian poetry or some other crazy thing that they can't even use, you know. And now they're working at a Starbucks or they're waiting tables or they're working in a Target, or I don't know, whatever they're doing. I've just seen all kinds of these crazy degrees, you know, and I don't understand it. Like I said, they're just stealing money from you guys right and left. And they're talking about Trump's gonna send everyone a $2,000 bonus next year. He's just giving you back some of your tax money. That's all he's doing. He's just giving you back some of your tax money that you've already paid. And for you people that don't pay any taxes because you don't work and you get government handouts and whatever it is, all that money They're just borrowing it. They're borrowing it from your children and your grandchildren, and sooner or later, they're going to have to pay it back. Okay? I think the U.S. takes in maybe around $2 trillion a year. You can check me on that. Around $2 trillion a year in taxes, and they spend like almost $4 trillion. It's coming up almost soon. If the interest rates are, if we keep borrowing, we're going to be paying $1 trillion a year just on interest. We're going to have to borrow money to pay the interest on the money we already borrowed. Oh man. Now, let me tell you, I'm not an economics major, but that to me just sounds crazy, right? That's like going to the bank and borrowing a bunch of money and then going to another bank and borrowing money to pay the interest on the first thing. It just doesn't make any sense, And then they're sending money to all these other places. And all these governments are just taking the money and they're just putting it, the place over there where over there in Europe where they're fighting. I'm not going to use the name because I don't want YouTube to take it down, but you guys know what I'm talking about. Billions of dollars have went over there, man, and we don't even know where that stuff goes, right? Afghanistan, they're going to go into Venezuela, all those places, man. They got top secret on a lot of that money that they get. We don't even know where that stuff goes, man. Our tax money. It's your tax money. It's not mine because I'm 67 and I'm retired and I don't really pay any taxes because my retirement puts me under the threshold because I have a 9-year-old daughter. So I'm the head of household. You know how that works. So anyways, I don't really pay any taxes. And if I do, it's just a little bit. But I do stuff over here, man, over here in Cambodia, and they don't even know my social security number. So I'm just going to leave it at that. You guys can figure that one out. So, like I said, you guys need to leave the USA. You say, I can't. Well, you're going to have to. I mean, if you don't, you're going to be out on the street because the layoffs and the homelessness and the repos, they're coming. And you're not going to be able to hide from that repo, man. Okay? They got these devices in the cars, man. They know where that stuff is all the time, man. All that, you got that Wi-Fi hooked in and you got that Google Mail, all that stuff, man. They can track your phone and they're gonna take that car from you. Okay? And like I said, those student loans, they ain't never going to go away. Remember, Biden, he promised, I think Obama did too, but anyways, Biden promised he was going to, take away the student loan. They ain't going to take away those student loans, man. You guys are going to be paying on that stuff forever. And I made another video for my other channel tonight. Let me tell you something. I had some friends of mine, I'm from California, I had some friends of mine several years back. They said, they were going to have solar put on their house. And I said, man, you might want to look into that a little bit. He said, no, it's going to help the environment, save them on electricity. And I said, well, you do what you want, man, but I'd look into it a little bit more than what they had a salesman come out there and tell them all this, blow all this smoke on them and tell them they're going to get rebates. Their electric bill is going to be low. Well, they bought that solar system. They bought it. And they got to pay on it for the next 20 years, I think, or whatever. And really, they're only saving a little bit of money because they got to pay for the solar, but they're saving money on their electric. But see, their slave master, the insurance company, flew a drone, which they do all the time. They flew a drone over the top of my friend's house. And it's just a 3-bedroom, single-story home. It's not nothing fancy. It's a nice little house, but nothing fancy. Anyways, they flew a drone over there. And from the pictures on that drone, they decided he needed a new roof. So they sent out an inspector. Guy knocked on the door and said, I'm here to inspect your roof. And he said, I didn't call him. He said, no, your insurance company sent me out here. And if you don't let me inspect your roof, they're going to cancel your policy. They're not going to renew it. It's almost time for renewing your policy. And anybody with a brain knows if you get insurance canceled, oh my God, they are going to bend you over the next time you need insurance. So don't ever let the insurance get canceled. So anyways, he climbed up on the roof, looked around and said, yeah, you need a new roof, man. You got to have a new roof. My friend said, go look in the attic. It's not leaking, no nothing. He said, nope, roof's old. Looks like it needs to be replaced. My friend said, well, I don't think it does. He said, well, you got one or two choices. Either you can replace it before your policy expires, and we'll renew your policy, and if not, well, the insurance company more than likely is just going to probably cancel your policy. He was just a roof inspector. He didn't really have a lot to say about it. My friend called his insurance company, and they said the same. If the guy said it needs to be replaced, it needs to be replaced. So he got some estimates. And in order for them to replace the roof, they got to take off all those solar panels. Yep, they got to take them all off. And they got to get an electrician or whoever the solar panel people to come out there and take them off. They got to get permits for that. They got to change over something on the electric. I don't know what they got to do. But anyways, they got to take off those solar panels. Then they got to put a new roof on. Then they got to put the solar panels back on again. They got to get permits. They got to get, I don't know if it's electricians or whoever. My friend said he's got to pay $16,000 to have a new roof put on his house because he's got those solar panels and everything. And I said, wow, man. He said, I ain't got no choice. I got to put those solar panels back on again. He signed something or whatever. So he said, I don't know what we're going to do. He said, I got a little bit of money in the bank, but we're going to have to put most of it on a credit card. I said, oh my God, man, they are going to just like rake you over the coals on that. He said, I know, but I ain't got no choice. I can't let my homeowner's insurance get canceled because then I know what'll happen. You know, the next one's probably not going to, he's going to have to pay just extreme amounts. So anyways, he's a slave to that insurance company. He's got to do whatever they say. If he doesn't do it, well, he could probably end up, you know, losing his house, not being able to have, you know, because it's got a mortgage on it, it's got to have insurance. So these politicians and everybody, they get in there and they tell you, we're going to say, we're going to lower insurance. How are you going to lower insurance rates, man? You're not going to do that. That's just stupid. You can't do it. We're going to lower grocery prices. How? The grocery store, they're the ones set the prices. We're going to lower your electric bills. No, they're not. No, they're not. They're building these massive data centers, man, and you're paying for those through your electric bills. Anybody I'm sure has got a really high electric bill. They got these big old data centers they're building, and they need a lot of power, man, so they got to upgrade all that stuff. You guys are slaves to all that. And even once your house is paid for, or your condo, whatever it is, you're still a slave to the government because you don't really own the house. You're just kind of like renting it because you got to pay property tax. Okay, you don't pay that property tax after about a year or so, man. That house, you're going to have some difficulty with the government. They're going to end up foreclosing on your house and all kind of stuff. And those HOAs and those 55 plus communities and those condos, man, they have assessment fees all the time, man. Even like I said, once your house is paid for, they still got you, man. They still got you. You're still a slave to them. And I can't understand it. Like I said, anybody with any kind of skills can go to a third world country and make money. Okay? You guys know I'm on Social Security. I don't tell nobody how much, but I had a guy from over here in the subdivision come over here. He needed something downloaded and printed off of his phone. He has something on his phone he needed downloaded and printed. He didn't have a computer in his house. He didn't want to drive all the way in the city, so he came over here. It took me about an hour and a half. I got it off his phone, put it on my phone. Put it on my laptop, downloaded it on the printer and printed it. I charged him $40. Took him about an hour and a half, something like that. And we had some coffee. We sat over here and talked for a little bit. He speaks some English, but I just made a quick $40. He said, well, that's only $40. Man, that's a tank of gas. You know what I mean? I'm going to use that same $40 tomorrow when I go to the gym. I'm going to go fill up my car. It's on, maybe it won't even take $40, man. It got about a quarter tank of gas. I looked. So those are the kind of things you can do in a third world country. They don't know how to do over here, man. They just don't know. Okay. Most of them don't even know how to turn on a computer, man. Like I said, Cambodia, 137th, I believe, poorest country in the world. 122nd on education. They are number one in something. They're number one in alcoholism for Southeast Asia. So, kind of see where that was going right there too, right? Most of the kids, they drop out. You know, they don't have any idea what they're going to be doing in their life, man. I asked one student I was teaching one night at night school. He's 17. He's already graduated by now, but he said he was 17 in the 12th grade, and I said, man, he could speak English okay. You know, I could have some small conversation with him. And I said, so brother, I said, you graduating this year? And he said, yeah, I'm in 12th grade. And I said, well, what's your plan? And he said, my plan? And I said, yeah, what's your plan, bro? What you gonna do, man? You got a plan? And he said, I'm gonna make money. And I said, well, how are you gonna make money? He said, I don't know. I said, well, that's not a plan, homie. That's not a plan. That's just I'm gonna make money, right? So you got to have a plan. He doesn't understand. People over here, they don't understand about a plan. They kind of live hand to mouth, day to day, which is okay for them. But for me, man, that don't fly for me. I got to have a plan. And you guys need to plan to escape, and that's what you got to do. You got to have to escape the USA. Okay. And the first thing you got to do before you can even escape the USA is you got to have a passport. Okay. You got to have a passport. I would recommend that to everyone just in case something happens. You got a passport, you can leave. Without that, you ain't leaving. I don't care what happens. So I make these videos. I don't make no cat videos. I don't make no, I don't know, people slipping on the ice videos or funny videos. I try to help you people out, trying to help my fellow Americans out, even though I'm kind of ashamed of the way America's turned out. But anyways, I'm trying to help my fellow Americans out. Anything I can do, and like I said, not financially, but you guys shoot me an email, man. If you want to come over here, you want to bring the family over here, shoot me an email. And once I see you're for real, not one of these cryptocurrency scammers, I'll give you my Telegram. We can speak like a live video, you know, on Telegram. I don't know if you know about it. Used to have Skype. They don't have that no more. Now everybody uses Telegram. But I'll give you my Telegram number. Let's say you and the wife and the kids, couple kids want to come over here. I only live about 20-25 minutes from the airport. It's no big deal, man. I got an SUV, man. I'll come pick you guys up, man. You know, I'll take you to a hotel. I know some nice hotels that aren't that expensive, and I'll bring my wife along because she's Khmer. She'll go inside and tell them, you give them the Khmer price. You don't give them the foreigner price. And they got two different prices, man. They think we're rich, but my wife, she can talk them down in the price, man. So anyways, like I said, I'll try to help people out. I'm not making these YouTube videos for the money. I just, you know, I can do other things, make more money doing it. I can work online on the computer, or I can do some teaching over here if I need extra cash. So anyways, if I can help you guys out, man. Nobody ever shoots me an email. You guys barely even look at my videos. So I'll tell you, hit like and subscribe. Please hit like and subscribe on my video. Maybe share it with somebody. Maybe somebody that you know, they're looking for an escape. My email is live.rich, .Cambodia at gmail.com, man. Shoot me an email. Like I said, I'm not going to give out my Telegram number over you know, on YouTube. That would be kind of stupid. But if I see somebody's emailing me and we're going back and forth a couple of times, man, I'll send you my Telegram number. You can download Telegram for free on your phone, man. I can speak. I have it on my laptop too. We can speak, and you can ask me any questions you want, man. You know. So, and anyways, I hope you guys are safe and everything, and just be careful when you guys go outside, man. Like I said, I'm only going to do this for a couple years, man. Then after that, you guys going to have to do it on your own. But anything I can do right now, I'll help you guys any way I can, man. Right on. As the young people say, peace out, right? Peace out.